when I snap and point my finger to signal a cut, let's not include it in the, actual video, because it looks stupid. Yeah. It feels demanding. It's like I'm... So beforehand, just get a nice little pause and then cut it. Okay. Lawrence County, welcome to another edition of the Odds and Ends podcast with me, Cody W. Pattison, Newcastle News sports reporter. If you know, you know. Monday, I went down to cover Shenango against Riverside. Shenango defeated Riverside 2-1 in the Whippeal Section 2-2A, thanks to Braden Ziegler. He bunted at the bottom of the ninth with bases loaded to bring home Tyler Kammerer and win the game. I caught up with Coach Larry Kelly after the game to get his comments, and here's what he had to say.
Coach, took 9 innings, but you got the win. Thanks all part to that 3 bases loaded, and Ziggy got the bunt perfect, and then brought TK home. First off, let's get in a reaction to that.
Yeah, well, you can suicide squeeze, but you got to have the right guy at third base, and you got to have the right guy at the plate, and you got to be in the right count. And we were in the right count. Ziggy is our best bunter on our team. He's been fabulous when it's time to get it down. TK's a great base runner. He didn't give it away too soon. And, when you can do that and execute runner, batter, it works, and it looks like a really good play.
And you had to take Herb out, put in number 11. What can you say on number 11? I haven't got to watch a lot of him pitching.
He is a young man who has poise beyond his years. We plan on going with Zach Herb tomorrow as our starter, and so we were only going to use him for less than 25 pitches. He only threw 20 pitches. He'll be available tomorrow. Unfortunately, Braden D'Angelo's not, because he threw 30 pitches, I think. So he's not available tomorrow. But Braden D'Angelo has poise beyond his years. He's a great pitcher. He's our number 2. The only reason we're going with Zach tomorrow is this team has seen Braden a couple times, and they haven't seen Zach.
Last time we talked, we spoke about hesitation on, rounding the bags, stuff like that. Well, I felt like you could have actually picked it up there in the second, and Tino, he was there to score position, but then he kind of hesitated again. Is that still something you're working on?
Yeah, he did. I mean, the play is, in that situation, is to come down the line about a quarter of the way and allow them to throw the ball to first base. He actually went too soon. Had they thrown the ball to first base to try to get the runner, he would have scored.
And 42, he tied it up for you. What can you say about him?
Grayson Hooks has been a great leadoff hitter all year. His on-base percentage is about 600. He's a great center fielder. He's only a sophomore. He's going to be a great player before he leaves Shenango High School.
All right, Coach. Hey, congratulations.
Later on in the week, Shenango would go on to sweep Riverside in the series to become co-section champions with them. So congratulations to them. Tuesday, I covered Neshannock, and they went unanswered against Laurel 8-0 to split the series between the two teams after suffering a 4-3 loss to Laurel prior to the game. I talked to Coach John Quahliero after the game. Here's what he had to say.
Coach, congratulations on the win. First off, I wanted to ask you, how important was this victory, after yesterday's loss, not only morale-wise, but, speaking on the section standings?
Yeah, so you know what? To be honest, I don't know what happened in the section today and the other games.
Right.
What we needed to do was in 24 hours turn things around to where we focus on what we can control. And today we controlled trying to beat a very good baseball team, tremendously well coached baseball team by Coach DeGennaro, and we got that done today.
Let's talk about Sebastian Correa on the hill there. He goes distance, and the last 2 outs in the top of the 7th, he's got 3 pitches left, and I see you say,
yeah. So I looked at him, I just gave the number 3 to him because he was at 97, and he just winked at me, and I knew he was going to finish at that point. It's fitting for a kid who is a senior, who has simply put us on his back here in the last couple weeks. That's 3 complete games in a row now, heading into the playoffs. So I put him, in the high standard, up with any pitcher in 2A. I have that much confidence in Sebastian Quahliero.
The 5th inning, you said, we need to finish. And then, sure enough, 2 more runs came. Nate Wren starts it off and with a double, and then in the 6th inning, he brings home 2 more runs for you guys, and it was just tacking them on there in the 6th. What can you say about Nate Wren today?
Yes, to go back to being able to finish, that's something that has been our Achilles heel. We jumped out on Laurel 3-0 yesterday.
Right.
And again, Coach DeGennaro, those kids over there at Laurel, tremendous baseball players. They got it out. They're not going to quit. So I knew that we never had enough. I mean, I wanted to score 10 because it could have came into a situation where they're going to keep pressing. They're top of the lineup for the Spartans. Again, just one after another, just grinders, great hitters. So Nate Wren, to be honest, Nate has been struggling more than I ever seen him struggle in his life. But the thing about Nate Wren, he never takes it in the field behind the dish. He's our leader. He's our quarterback back there. And to me, that's a tremendous character kid that does that. It's hard to do when you're struggling that badly. And we had a talk after the game last night. He was down on himself, left some guys in scoring positions. I just had a feeling, today that Nate was just going to start his hot streak, and it's perfect timing heading into the postseason. So Nate had great at-bats, a great approach today, and he got it done for us.
Coach, one last question. It seemed really you guys were very adamant about base stealing today.
Yes.
And it seemed, I asked Coach DeGennaro this too, Laurel kind of struggled there with their wild pitches and the catcher hesitating and allowing you guys to, get those stolen bases. What can you say on that?
As far as our game plan, we needed to put pressure on them today. Ponsloff, I tell you what, he's probably the most improved player in the section. I was talking to my coaches, both offensively and defensively. We knew he was a great catcher, but we still wanted to put pressure. Let him shut us down before we shut it down ourselves. That was a goal today. One of the things that our coaches met on, and again, I have in my eyes, I can't do this without my coaches. We met last night, and we had a great game plan, and we executed today. Just a couple more things. So last night we get off the bus, and it's a tough loss. If we would have won last night, there was a chance for us to be co-champs today. If Shenango won, again, I don't know what they did do. So we had to get past that. But you know what these gentlemen did? They went to a local indoor facility owned by Johnny Sansone, one of my former players. I called him. They wanted to hit, and it was late. He opened up the doors for us and let the kids go in there, and they hit for an hour on their own. And they went, and that's, to me, when I was made aware of how many kids wanted to do that, I knew we were going to be okay today.
Right.
Because they weren't going to accept that loss. And that was the way I started my conversation out there. We're not celebrating. We just made the playoffs, right? I mean, it's a great team that we beat. But as far as their drive and them wanting to do that after they had the prom this weekend, that's always a dragger. I had a joke with them. I said, next year I'm going to administration. We're going to make the prom on Friday night because Saturday is just not good for Mondays. I want to talk about Michael Altmaier, if I could, a second. Yeah. Michael Altmaier was an NC News first team all-conference last year. He tore his UCL, so it took him out of position. I put him at the DH spot. Well, I had a couple other kids. Colton Schaefer was hurt, and Colton DH. So Michael accepted his role the entire year. And on senior day, I started him over Fry because we're not sure that we're going to have, Andrew Fry. I'll talk to you more about that. The WPL ruling has him out for the postseason. There's one more appeal to the PIAA. It's Monday. But I wanted to see what our lineup looked like without him. And Michael Altmaier, I wanted him to be in here on the last game at Kirkwood Field. And let me tell you what happened here. If you remember back in the game, I think it was 1-0, 2 outs, a guy on third or in scoring position. He hits a ground ball to second base, a ground ball, routine ball to second base, and he hustled his tail down, forcing a pressure throw. The kid had to looked up and saw him down the line, and it was an errant throw. it was caused by his hustle. That's the type of kid that I want in my tribe, on my team. So, kudos to Michael Allmeyer. Not a lot of kids can do that as a senior, accept their role, their injury. And if it wasn't for Michael Allmeyer's injury, he would have been a big part of our team this year, and he still is right now.
All right, Coach. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Jumping back to the Wildcats, the Shenango's boys track and field team captured their first WPIAL gold in the school history. The girls track and field team claimed bronze at that same meet at Peters Township High School. I talked with Chris Vecenie, who is the Shenango boys track and field coach, and here was his initial reaction after finding out that they won gold.
Coach, congratulations. Shenango boys took gold for the WPIALs. What your initial reactions?
Ecstatic for the kids. I've had such a hard-working group of boys. This group of seniors has been runner-up twice and lost a year to COVID, so it really meant a lot to them to get the win. Twice we've been down here and lost in the 4x4, and this time we actually got to win the 4x4 and win the meet. So really happy for those boys.
What can you say about the competitors and how they, went, about this today, after, losing a couple times down
Sure.
here?
Like I said, the perseverance within the team is high. They do a fantastic job recruiting among other kids. You can't just win one of these with one group of seniors. They do a great job making sure kids come out and paying the price and being good examples. I think we have a fantastic section, so we're very battle tested. Like I said, in the last 4 years, we have been 1-2 in the WPIAL out of our section the last 4 years between us and Riverside's boys. So, when you make it down here, you have a chance. And, these guys never quit believing, never gave up, and I'm really proud of them.
You mentioned that last race. Also, what are some things from the previous years that you thought maybe you were kind of lacking in that this year you improved on?
So, just overall team balance seemed like we would be missing just a little bit here or there in certain events. You try to eliminate holes, and it just kind of worked out this year that we were able to blend, and some kids took on some new events and moved events, and sometimes when you're that close, we lost the meet by 3 points a couple times. We lost the meet by, I think 4 points once. You're right there. It's just a matter of who's running better on a day.
You got a lot of good senior leadership, and I can mention on both, girls and boys team, like Will Pat and Emma Callahan's, certain people like that. Who do you think really shined today?
I mean, all of my seniors stepped up big, but Tyler Morosky has been a warrior for me in the hurdles and relays all year long. Tommy Presner has been a great leader for me. Dalton Peters has been a great middle distance leader for me. Adam Bryant, vaulting and jav, switching events. He was one of those guys. I could name every single one of them. Jackson Kretz and Will Patton and Colton Ferrucci carrying us in the shot, the disc, and the jav, along with those other guys. And Brandon Stuck, it's so hard to get those guys their notice because they take turns, winning events. And, on the grand scale, everyone knows how strong our throwers are, but I still can't say their names enough time, for what they do for this program and for the team as a whole.
All right, Coach. Hey, congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, Pete, I'm done.